4 o'clock. Thank you very much for joining us in this roundtable breakout session. I'm Curtis, as you learned earlier today. To my right, I guess to the left of me, is Teresa Leach from LiRN, who also spoke earlier today. But we're also very happy to have Ivan Makanov, who is the president of Lexum. And I didn't know what Lexum was before looking into this, but Lexum is like the overarching control bot of CanLII. And it's associated with the Federation of Law Societies of Canada. It's our kind of thing, and we're very fortunate to have Ivan here today. And I was hoping that he might do a bit of a demo of what is now happening in CanLII.
Yes.
Do you want to tell us what's occurring?
Absolutely. Thank you, Curtis. It's a pleasure to be here. I'm Ivan. I'm the president of Lexum. As Curtis mentioned, Lexum is a legal technology firm based in Montreal. We produce, we design, we operate the CanLII website. We also have other customers, but CanLII is by far our achievement that we're proudest of. Lexum is owned by CanLII, the non-for-profit, and CanLII is owned by the Federation, and the Federation by the Law Society. So it's a very long or very tall food chain. But ultimately, you are the ultimate shareholders and stakeholders in this beautiful product and beautiful asset. Oh, sorry about that. Yeah. Thank you. So I'm saying that the lawyers, you are the ultimate stakeholder and shareholder of Lexum and CanLII through your law societies, and we thank you for your continued support and funding. And I hope you use CanLII, and I hope you like it. And I hope you like it more after I show you what we're about to launch in the next few weeks. So what we are planning, actually the go live date is today. It's a coincidence, it wasn't planned like that. But we are launching the CanLII Research Assistant, which is an AI application that you'll see on the right side of CanLII. If you go on CanLII now, you won't see it because we're starting with a small group of early access users to test and to adapt and to tweak and so on and so forth. So this is going to go live for everyone early next year, but we will be increasing the pool of users gradually over the next week. So if you're interested to see and give it a try and tell us what does not work, because for us, no news are good news. If you don't tell us that that some things don't work, we'll take for granted that it works. But please, if you want to use it and give it a try and tell us what you like and what you don't, this is going to be very much appreciated. This is basically, this is not a chat. I just want to position the product first. This is not ChatGPT. We don't have all the information. We don't have all the answers. We don't claim to have all the answers. This is basically a different way to interact with the CanLII database. What's different also in our approach is that we don't have two paths to search CanLII. One is AI and one is the traditional one. We basically merge them both. We don't like the black box effect of some AI tools where you ask a question, it basically feels like you're asking a question to the universe and you get an answer back. So basically you don't know what's being searched, what's not, and so on and so forth. So we decided to opt for a hybrid approach and to mix the AI component and the traditional CanLII search. So what you'll see basically is an AI overlay helping you to search CanLII even more effectively and find results that are on point. So basically in this box here, when you see it on CanLII, you'll be able to ask any question, legal question that you may want to ask. So I'll just start with one example, which is, can AI train on copyrighted material? So when you click on search, you'll see it's working. So basically the AI agent will be creating a research plan, essentially trying different queries. And so you see trying query 1, trying query 2, and so on and so forth. And at the end, it will end up with a Boolean query that the AI assistant thinks best represents your research question here. So the question is here, can AI train on copyrighted material? And the resulting Boolean query is right here with the results. The next thing that you can do, so this is basically the first one of the use cases. It will help you design a targeted, powerful Boolean search that's most prone to bring up relevant results from CanLII. And then if you click on Analyze, basically what the assistant will do is it will read your top 25 results, as you can see from the progress bars. It will analyze the results. It will score them from 0 to 5, and then it will create a short summary for every result. So basically what the summary of a result is, this is a response to how this specific result answers your research question. So the question here is, again, can AI train on copyrighted material? And when this analysis is done, we're just a second away from there, I'll be able to reorder the results by relevance and see my results here with this short snippet, which is the relevance analysis. So the first result is a secondary material. It's a commentary, obviously. And here we can see a summary of how this result specifically answers the research question. So we can see that the first one is pretty much on point. It talks about the Canadian-focused commentary, arguing that AI training copies engage reproduction rights and so on and so forth. Then you have some more detailed analysis. You have quotes from the text. And of course, you can go and see for yourself the original document, which we always encourage people to do. Read the cases, as we say in legal tech. And then there's a second one, 4 out of 5. Again, it's a comparative article analyzing AI training on copyrighted works, and so on and so forth. So basically, this is we call it an MVP, a minimum viable product. This thing will only get better from now on. What we intend the full product to be doing is to generate some kind of a research memo that aggregates all the results and all the individual analysis into one single conclusion based on CanLII, and many other functionalities will come as well. This tool is going to be free to use. You need to create an account, of course, because we cannot keep users anonymous with this kind of applications. But it will be free to use it. This is the first application of AI in legal research in the open access world. So again, if you have any questions about this, about the rationality of the product, yes.
So when will that sort of second phase, if I understood you correctly, of it'll create sort of a memo of your talk?
Yeah, well, next summer we're looking at next summer, 26, for the full version of the product. Yes.
It's an awesome product.
Thank you.
Now I forgot my question. Oh yeah, so when I put a query into the assistant, let's say I am foolish and I put in information like a name of a client or something, what happens to that query? Does CanLII store that information? Should I be worried about putting confidential information into my query?
Well, this information cannot be seen by anyone but you. It cannot be seen by the developers, by Luxembourg, CanLII, or anybody, because it's encrypted. But obviously, it does exist in the database. That it can be purged as well. You can go into your history and erase all your history and all your previous searches. But while the search is active, yes, there is a trace of the search somewhere, but it's strictly accessible to the user and it cannot be seen by anybody else.
My understanding of AI is limited, but what I understand to this point is a lot of the quality of what you get out of it depends on sort of the question you ask and the question you put in. And I'm wondering whether you might be establishing sort of standard questions on different areas of law, which may help, well, both lawyers and probably members of the public as well, to ask the right question.
That's actually a good idea. We thought about it to have like templates of questions or predefined questions. This is definitely something that we envision doing in the full product because it's harder to handle free text questions. It's much simpler to handle questions which are in the form of templates and exist already in the database. So definitely it's a good idea and we're considering.
Yeah, and or if an individual who has an account can also save queries,
yes.
That can be done?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah.
Through your history, you'll be able to access your previous queries and repeat them all over.
May I just add something to that?
Yes.
I just think that that's also an excellent reason and opportunity to go into your courthouse library and ask your librarian for help in developing the query, as they are information retrieval specialists.
Yeah.
Exactly, and the formulation of your query and what prompt you're giving the AI is so important to the quality of the information you get back. And I'm not being glib. I really do think it's for lawyers in the room. Go to your courthouse library and talk to your librarian. This is what they're trained to do: is get information for you. And as the time goes on, they're going to get even better and better at this type of query as well. So.
I don't want to speak for every library, but you don't even have to go, quite frankly, to mine. Like if you email, fax, call them, whatever. I think they prefer email nowadays, but you'll get the response back, in short order. So I think you're absolutely right. Yeah, no, absolutely. I'm with you 100%, but for some it's harder than for others, right? In Hamilton, it's quite easy for me to walk down the street and see Melissa, but, in other areas, it's not as easy. And like I said, you don't actually need to go, and people will be highly responsive.
Did you have a question over here?
Series of beta testing that you're going to be doing between now and your official launch that's going to be happening in June of 2026. And what did you do to actually get this ready to go with a smaller group, like you said, it's actually going live today, coincidentally?
Oh, I mean, this is what people start using as early as January. So this is going to be available to everyone. Every authenticated user on CanLII starting in January. We're just running some trials now with groups of users trying to understand if it works, if it behaves and performs adequately. So it's a wider testing pool, basically, than what we've been doing internally. But we ran a lot of rounds of validation even before developing the product. We spoke to a lot of people, even on a mock-up basis around sheets of paper with drawings on them. So yeah, we had been in touch with the users a lot, but now we really want to give it to the real world and see how it behaves. There's going to be a lot of questions that we didn't think of, and we want to see how the tool handles those questions. It was put to the test by the president of the Federation of Law Society herself during the break with so many questions. At some point I said, no, this one was actually the perfect answer. Let's stop here.
Yes, did you have a question?
Yeah, I would like to know, it's probably none of my business, but who these test subjects are that are helping you develop this product. It's lawyers or?
Lawyers, librarians.
You've asked librarians?
Yes, legal information specialists. We actually had a very wide campaign reaching out through many organizations such as COL as well. So there were a lot of invitations going out, and I know we have a group of about 200-300 people, but it's a very various group of professionals. It's not only lawyers. We want lawyers, but we want also librarians. Even more than lawyers, to be honest.
Can I just respond to that? I don't know if Ian's in the room, but I know Alan is. I'm hoping this is the beginning of a really great relationship between FOLA and connecting with CanLII and Lexum, so you can really sort of harness the energy and you can really appreciate what's going on and how to use it, and we get your input. So I really hope this is a continuing relationship, because I think you raise a really good point about reaching out to the end users and how can you help develop and work through everything that's happening.
I think those are all really interesting points, because like when we were talking about this, Teresa and I, when we first started talking about this panel, we thought like everyone is talking about AI, but I don't really use AI. Apparently it's in my practice management software. I have no idea. Apparently it's in my operating system. I have no idea. Like everything is AI. So when we reached out to Teresa, and Teresa put us in contact with Ivan, and now CanLII's doing it, like I can't even like describe how thrilled I am, because from my perspective, CanLII is our open like database of law. So the fact that these tools are being developed, I'm very thankful. I think it's really cool.
And one of the premises of the product, as you see, is that you keep full control over the search and the data at all times. You can change this Boolean query if you don't like it. You can even consult, because the algorithm basically tries different searches, so you can go and see the previous iterations of the search that's been done. You can change it here. You can change the scope of the data that's being searched. You can limit to cases, you can limit to legislation, and so on and so forth. You can go by date range, you can exclude some information, but you're always in full control of the data set that's being searched and analyzed. And this is the big difference between the system that we've seen so far. And don't get me wrong, I think that there are wonderful systems such as Vincent, LexisNexis are strong, CoCounsel are very good systems. But here, you're in the environment of the old CanLII that you love and that you use and that you know, with some AI overlay which makes it more powerful and effective, but you still have the control. You decide where you direct the AI overlay in terms of data set, in terms of query, in terms of everything.
Yeah, did you have a question, David?
I think I'm just trying to formulate my question. We're often told with AI that we still have to go back to original sources and to verify that the information that's being generated for us is in fact accurate. So, and I know our firm has programs like, I think with LexisNexis or Thomson, I forget which one, that it actually produces AI-generated results and documents and all this sort of stuff. But so if you ask this program to produce a memo on a person's right to terminate a contract and sue for damages based on these facts, are you then presuming that the lawyer doing the research will go back and review all those cases? Or are you presuming that that the output is actually an accurate assessment of the various decisions and the weighing of the different facts and the decisions and things like? Do you understand what I'm trying to ask? I'm not even sure.
Yeah, I understand the question. We always encourage, and I'm running another search, so in the first one I only got commentary. It was understandable, but I'm running a different search to see, to have some cases as well, and you see in our analysis that we always hyperlink to the paragraph of the case where you see for yourself if the statement is correct. So we always encourage users to go back to the original source. So let me see here. When I'm done, you'll see I'll pick up a case example, and if the cases paragraphs are numbered, then you'll have links to those paragraphs, and you'll be able to see if the AI statement about this result is accurate. So it's not going to be very long. Let me see. I asked a question about the enforcement of non-compete clauses in Quebec. Let me rescore. So Here you see that there is a decision from the Supreme Court of Canada, confirms Quebec standards of non-compete, non-solicitation in a sales context, etc., etc. So there are quotes from the case, and there's linked to this paragraph 42. So if you click on 42, you'll get straight to the case. This is the original case. You'll get straight there. So we make it easier for you to go to the source. But
I want to respond to that and say thank you. That's exactly what I wanted to say to my friend, because I use your product all the time. And you create these easy hyperlinks. I believe, in response to my colleague and friend, that yes, it's our duty, it's our law society duty. You have to check every case, of course you do. Your product makes it so easy. Click the button, it pops up, I scan it, and I go, there you go, that's the case I want. Sometimes I go, what the heck was AI thinking? This, in my opinion, doesn't stand for what it's written, and I slide it away. Very, very rare. I use it all the time. Excellent. But yes, our duty is to check. You make it easy for us to do that. Thank you. Keep up the good work.
Thank you so much. Thank you so much.
I just want to add, I agree wholeheartedly. I think it is still incumbent on lawyers to be reviewing the cases that they're relying on. It would be like going into court and relying on a case where you've only read the summary and not read the actual case. That is still part of your duty, particularly when it's specialized resources for the legal community. And you're going on to CanLII, and they've got a good data set. If you're on Vincent through VLEX, which we have as part of eLearn, or Lexis Plus, which is also part of eLearn, you know it's a good data set. It's not going to bring you back a hallucinated case the way ChatGPT might. But you still have to read the case. You still have to make sure that you're understanding the nuances of the case and how the opposing party might use the case, et cetera. So it's having a very powerful assistance in your research, but it's not going to be doing the research for you. So I 100% agree with what was said. It is still your duty to read the cases, but it makes it so much easier when the AI helps you find the case and then links it to you so you can go check it out yourself.
So articling students are safe then?
Pardon?
I said articling students are safe.
Well, there's an interesting case Justice Myers released. I don't know if it's been discussed, but in May, and it's just like, it's a scathing account of an AI hallucinated factum that was submitted. It's Co v. Lee, 2025 ONCS 2766. It's quite the read as in terms of like what the judge says, these are your duties, lawyer. You didn't live up to it. It turned out all right in the end, spoiler. But yeah, I mean, these are tools. It's the same, right now, right, from my perspective, we're going from typewriters to word processors, right? Like, if you can keep using a typewriter, but you're gonna get left behind by everyone who's using a word processor. Because the new people, they're gonna be like, what typewriter, right? So, because everything is embedded now. So these tools, I mean, I'm trying to learn them, and I'm feeling like a dinosaur. I have a degree in computer science, right? Like, this is the state of affairs. But it's so important, and I'm trying to stress to younger lawyers, like, you need to be smarter than the machines, right? Mm-hmm. It's all about, like, specializing and using the tools, not having the tools use you.
Trust the technology, but don't trust it too much.
Who's using AI tools right now in their practices? Do you mind if I ask, like, what do you use them for? Peter.
I use Gemini a lot when I practice, and I don't always use the outcome tree. But so if I'm researching, I'll give it the research question, and I'll do my own research and go and check on what Gemini is responding with. Sometimes it's helpful, sometimes it's not. Sometimes I'll ask it to draft the first part of the mediation memorandum or some sort of document that needs to be drafted, obviously anonymized. It will give me the whole structure that I can then embellish on. I use it for all sorts of, I've gotten it to summarize certain documents. It's incredibly helpful.
I think that's really cool. And I think in speaking to Ivan, he was saying one of the cool things that's going to come out of this CanLII AI kind of interface is case summaries as well. So instead of, which I think is amazing, because you don't have head notes on every case, you don't have summaries done. I'm sorry, you've been standing there for ages, yes.
That's okay. I've been around for ages. I actually have been a librarian when fax machines were cutting technology, and for years people have been saying it's like, well, all this new technology is going to be replaced like librarians, and it's like, no, I'm actually just getting replacement parts. So a couple of things. First of all, I just want to mention that we do a little newsletter and we put in interesting cases, and we link all the cases to CanLII cases because all of the lawyers have access to them. We love the little AI summaries that we can pull out so that they can sort of say, oh, this is what this case is about. It's like, and if they choose to read the case, that's great. I'm in York Region. We've had a hallucination case in front of Justice Kenkel, who is probably the most computer tech savvy judge in all of probably Canada, who knows. And so we're really, really conscious about, hallucination cases, and we're actually getting research questions that's like, hey, can you send me the following? It's like, I need something, I want case law to find this. And it was interesting because we couldn't find what they were looking for, this concept. And he gave us a whole paragraph, and including a chapter from ZIF on property law. And it was like, where did you get this information? He was, oh, I just pulled it up from ChatGPT-4. I'm going like, don't do that to us, because it was all garbage. So the fact that it is open source, wonderful. The fact that it is trusted source is amazing.
That's exactly
because that is what they come to us as librarians for, is trusted information. And like many have said, anything that I do, I say to the lawyers, this is what I have found. It may not be complete. It is, a good sort of overview of what we do. It is your job to ensure that it is correct and what you are looking for, because the buck doesn't stop with me. The buck stops with you at the Law Society. And they're not that forgiving about these things. So, And in fact, there's Alan Whitten did a case many, many years ago. He's a judge out of Hamilton, and he basically said, lawyers, it's up to you to learn this technology and to use this technology. And if you're not doing that, that is on you, and you're not competent. It's a competency requirement.
It's so true. Alan, I hate to put you on the spot. What AI do you use and why?
So I started off, I have Adobe Pro in the office, and they added an AI function for a very small amount of extra. And oftentimes my research is more like preemptive. So I see something in a newspaper, or somebody sends me something, and I'm reading the cases even before I need them, and then I sort of sort them and file them and categorize them for myself. So the Adobe AI can summarize cases within 30 to 45 seconds. Doesn't matter how long the case is. And, I'll read the summary, which is usually a page to a page and a half. And then if there are any points of interest, just as you were doing before, it sort of footnotes every point, and then it can flip you back to the paragraphs in the case. So if you want to read the context, or if you're not sure if that was correct or whatever, you can verify it for yourself. But I hope when the memo function comes out, you'll be able to have that. I would say that footnoting almost of it is so important for us to be able to easily verify it. And then, obviously we'll be using our own accounts, and then to save those memos in our account would be super useful. The other program I'm using is more specific to personal injury lawyers, so that's my area of practice, and it's called Supio. And I can put in all the records in the file, other than things I create. I don't put in my memos and stuff like that, but I'm talking about, the transcripts, the employment files, the medical records. And, I have thousands of pages of medical records, and it can make a chronology of that. And then you can ask the program questions, and it is just unbelievable, the answers that I get. I had a case where I had already gone to pretrial. The defense lawyer had sent something in their pretrial brief which was wrong, and I knew it was wrong because I had done the discovery, and so I had to go through the transcript and find these points where I knew the defense lawyer was wrong, and I did. It took me an hour or two, but I found the questions and answers, and I pointed out that he was clearly wrong in his assertion that my client had not told the truth because it was right there in black and white. That took me an hour or two to do that. I tested it on this Supio program by inputting all that information, and then I gave it the quote that the defense lawyer used in his pretrial brief, and I said, is this correct? And it spat out the answer, the same answer that took me 1 to 2 hours to do. It spat that out in about 45 seconds with the same quality references that I had achieved in that time, but again, it just did it in 45 seconds. So, I mean, I am blown away by this technology, and I mean, I encourage you to it, right? I think you're in the right direction for sure. It's a necessity, and it will only add to the public's ability to use this. I mean, we're all looking at it from the lawyer perspective or the librarian perspective, but you have to look at it from the perspective of members of the public, because that's also part of your mandate, and I think that this would be a huge benefit to them, because they won't be able to use the right words or catchphrases. We have to expect that English might not be their first language or whatever. That's the within the expectations that we must have, and I think that this is a great way forward to help them access the information they need. So good for you.
I think steering self-represented litigants towards CanLII and away from GPT will be so helpful for everyone.
Clients do it, and the results are ridiculous, almost laughable. But you know, the part of the benefit of this is that this is a reliable network, a reliable data source to start with. But you know, to give people a little bit more direction as AI can do to help them get to what the needle in the haystack, as it were, that they're looking for, because I'm sure that's the way they feel trying to navigate themselves through the litigation system, is a very worthy cause. So I think this is great. And as Teresa was saying, you know, about FOLA and CanLII's continued involvement, you know, I certainly agree with her that because this is so rapidly changing, I'm sure in 6 months from now your program will look different, and a year from now it'll look different. And so I'm hoping that we will have you back for more of this this type of interaction, because it's important for us to keep up to date. That's the bottom line. We have to know what's out there. Even if we can't help people, we can always help direct them. You know, that's part of our obligation too as lawyers. Sometimes we can't help everyone. That's the God's honest truth. But we do have an obligation to continue to sort of navigate people to a safe place, right? So, anyways, keep up the good work.
Thanks, Alan. Sabrina, yeah.
But I thought I heard somebody say that the AI system, or one of its like things at the base that people don't really realize, is that it's not supposed to, or it's not meant to give the same answer twice. So I thought I saw when you had done the trial run that it said, I have seen this question before.
Yeah.
Did you want your previous results? And then I was wondering if that's true or untrue, if it would then only give you new answers, or would it have to give a new answer to everyone who by chance maybe puts in the same question or a very similar question?
Well, the functionality to use the previous research is limited to the user account. So we cannot use the results from somebody else for another user. So this is strictly for your interaction, your past research sessions that you've had. It's true that the LLMs, it's not by design, but it's true that they don't yield the same results. It's not said the same way, it's not phrased the same way. And it's true with ChatGPT, with GPT-5 as well, and so on and so forth. But the discrepancies are getting really much smaller. Maybe there's going to be a difference in the nuances. There's going to be some difference in the phrasing. But overall, I mean, it's still very early times of testing, but overall it's very consistent what we see so far. It's not going to be a copy of of the question if it was asked by somebody else or in a different research session, but it's very consistent across across sessions and across users.
So then my question is then, if that's true, then if you were, the simpler the question, there's a harder, like, for example, like, can you count to 14 or whatever, right? Like,
Yeah.
you know, if you don't come up with the right answer on that so many times, right, save the answer.
Yeah.
And I've noticed that when I use ChatGPT, if I don't save what I've done, then when I go and ask that almost the exact same question again, it'll tweak it a little bit, like it'll switch the order and things like that. And I saw that on yours too, that they rank the results and then you have a chance to reorder the
Yes, yes.
all those kind of small changes is considered like a different result.
No, the reordering of results is basically changing because by default CanLII ranks the results according to our current ranking algorithm that you know. Here with the AI we attribute a score as to how the result answered a specific research question. So it's a different score. So if you want to reorder by that score, which is the 0 to 5 out of 5, this is when you need this reordering. Basically, it's very contextual to your question. One first step that we do in the sequence is that we try to understand the user question. So you can ask it with typos, you can ask it with language mistakes or any legal mistakes in the question. So for the first thing, we are asking because there is an LLM behind all this, you all know, we are asking the LLM is to understand and to spell out the user need. So this is the first step. And then we transform the user need into a Boolean query on the one hand. And then when we get the result and when the AI reads the result, then we read it in the context of the understood user need based on the user question. But there is this intermediary step where the AI will interpret whatever the user types in the box to get a sense of the legal question that's been asked.
So if two users on two different sessions or two different computers, but on the same day around the same time, were to ask the same question by chance, using very similar wording or the exact same wording, would they get the same answer? Like they wouldn't be able to see each other's answer.
No. No, but they'll be getting very, very similar answers, if not identical answers. There's no reason to have a difference. You mentioned very rightly the time element because the database changes 5 times a day. We publish cases 5 times a day. So it's not the database is not the same at 10 in the morning and at 5 in the afternoon. So this of course will have an impact. But if the data set is stable and the same, then the results will be pretty much identical.
Cool. I'm going to segue over to the eLearn suite. I know we were kind of technically done on time, but I just wanted to very, very quickly just highlight something that until I went looking for it, I've heard about eLearn lots. I thought, hey, I should probably try to use that because they have...
You all should.
What's that?
I said you all should.
There you go, see? So I went looking for it, and I found it, and this is where, like when Teresa's talking about the rangefinder, this is where you go to access rangefinder. And there's other services as well that are available to some of the law associations, the northern law associations. I think it's 36 of the 46, is it?
36 of the 48 can get VLEX remotely. For some reason, they don't want us to make it available remotely in the large urban centers.
Yeah.
But we were able to, we had a pilot where it was just restricted to northern communities, and we convinced them to come a little bit further south. And
so you
and
get
give
mass
access.
transit, you don't get this. So you can access Hein Online, Lexis Plus, VLEX, and I just wanted to very, very quickly show you, if we click on it through here, VLEX Remote Access, you basically pop up to Vincent over here, okay? And it's another AI tool that is at our fingertips by virtue of LiRN and the eLearn suite. And then if you go over here, there's Vincent, feed it your documents if you dare, and ask it things. So I've not fully committed to this myself. I still debate, like, you know, I'm a family lawyer. I've got like hundreds of pages of financial disclosure to troll through and find, what's he spending that on, right? I would kind of like to use it, but I'm not there yet. I'll let you know next plenary. Thank
We'll
you.
get him, we'll convince him.
Thank you very much.